Psychological operations, also known as PSYOPs, is a non-violent warfare tactic meant for demoralizing opponents. These operations are mostly propaganda, but can also include photo editing, demoralizing leaflets, and even creepy recordings. The first intentional PSYOPs was from the Germans in World War II, but the Americanization of it changed how modern warfare is fought.
The first to intentionally use PSYOPs in an intentional way was Nazi Germany during World War II, when they used a common PSYOP tactic to directly influence American troops.
So in November 1944, during World War II, German soldiers or German planes dropped leaflets over African American, Black soldiers and communities, telling them, why are you fighting for America, and why are you living there when they don't treat you equally? They should join Germany. German forces used more than one leaflet propaganda operation. They also sent leaflets depicting a man and a woman kissing, saying things like, remember our last kiss, and remember all the fun we had together. This was meant to put the image in the soldier's head that they were going to die and that their spouse would miss them. That's not all. The backside of the leaflet reminded the soldier that was reading it that most of the people and friends that they came with were all probably dead. In comparison, the Allied forces' propaganda, which was very weak at the time, simply showed a field with thousands of German graves.
That was the first example of intentional PSYOPs. But the Americanization of it changed warfare and introduced some creative ways of fighting. The following events, in non-chronological order, would be slow but steady progression of the American Psy War. The Gulf War, what will be discussed next, will have some of the most efficient tactics.
In the Gulf War, American troops would send leaflets out of bomber planes to tell enemies to surrender. They would also drive by and yell at enemy soldiers to surrender. These are some of the most simple but effective forms of psychological warfare. Many enemy soldiers surrendered instead of fighting. This tactic is very different from what warfare was in the past and shows how much warfare has changed. The Marines, which had much less firepower than the Iraq soldiers, convinced at least 1,400 soldiers to surrender.
Now for a ghost story.
Operation Wandering Soul was used during the Vietnam War to take advantage of North Vietnam soldiers' religion. U.S. troops used creepy recordings of distorted voices saying things to try to represent their dead comrades. The recording said things like, I died for nothing, I lost everything for what? The most famous recording was a tape of a creepy noises called Ghost Tape 10. This scared civilians to stay in their houses and scared soldiers to the breaking point. The North Vietnam soldiers eventually found out what was happening and just started shooting at the source of the sound. Even though the North Vietnam soldiers eventually found out, it had significant effect before they had found out.
The following video is a recruitment video to convince people to join the Psychological Operations branch. This video is also called Ghost in the Machine and shows things that were happening in other countries at the time and how they were affected by the Psy War tactics.
As the world watches and listens in horror, the peaceful pro-democracy demonstration in China comes to a violent and bloody end.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Wolves hiding nearby, whispering, do or die around. You say your last good night while I get by.
against the enemy's mind.
It is words and ideas.
The ammunition used by Cybar.
To say my last goodbye.
In conclusion, the invention of psychological operations was just one step for warfare, but the Americanization of it greatly changed how it is fought. Even though it is not instantly game-changing, over time it would slowly advance to its peak. This change over time made warfare greatly change.